computer. Bam, let's go. Let's go. Your boy Nick, HOUTX Trader on the YouTubes, Big Tuna, and HUTX Trader on Instagram. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, my people, we're in here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to look at the market and we're going to see what we think it's going to do. Okay, what is it going to do this next week? So let's come back to the 12-hour time frame. We're on Nasdaq. And if we actually come out a little bit longer than this, we'll come out to the daily. All right, all right, all right. And we can see that we are in all-time highs because that broke. So we're in no man's land on Nasdaq, which makes it very difficult for us to play off some structure because there is no structure, right? Oh, that doesn't mean we can't find some entries. That it doesn't mean we can't figure something out. So when it comes to this big structure, we're in no man's land. Let me just delete all this stuff. I'm going to leave this double bottom here. That is eventually going to be our target because eventually we're going to draw a fib from here all the way up to wherever this is. You know, let's just say that's right there for now. And this will be our target for buys. As you can see, that will clear out those two fibs, get in our fib zone, and then we can clear out the double bottom. There we go. Get into our fib zone, and then it'll start popping off. So go down to the 2-hour. 2-hour. Okay, so the only way I see that we have a play on this is to find a fib area and try to play that as a TP. So we can see here that this is our main consolidation area and our main point of interest that we have a lot of sales in. We also have sales in this area and this area. So this might be because it's such a bullish market. It might just come down and give us a touch here and then pop off. We're not worried about where it's going to pop off now because it's not there yet, right? The only play that we have would be the cells. So our job is then to figure out where is the cells. And I'm going to mute you guys. If you want to ask a question, please just unmute yourself and then ask the question. It's all good. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay, so let's fib this. Okay, top to bottom. Or actually, we can't even go top to bottom because we don't know where the top is. Let's come down a little smaller time frame and let's tighten this fib up. Okay, so we had the break. Here's the top. Here's the break. There's the first push. So really only fib we can go off any type of structure is from there. And then we had a push. We had a very small retracement and then it popped again. So it's not lining up with our fibs. So we really have zero structure to go off of. It's unfortunate because it gives us nothing to get a sell off of. So the only play we have is look, it's obviously way oversold in 30 minutes. It's going to be oversold probably on every time frame. Let's just check the 2-hour real quick. Yeah, it's way oversold. So the only thing that I see us doing is wait for confirmation. We're going to have to wait for a break of internal structure, a pullback, and then a sell-off. When we get that, which we're not here yet, as you can see, we can then draw a fib to the sell side. Wherever that point is, we're not sure where it's at now, but let's just say it's right there. We can draw a fib from there to wherever that swing is, wherever the break of structure bottom is, and then we can start to look getting in trades in that area. Our TP1 then would be the top of this breakout zone. Okay, that is a super sketchy trade. I'm not saying take that trade because that we don't have any structure, right? We can risk it. Like if we get a good push down and break internal structure, then we could take a sell right there because we have a small stop loss. Our stop loss is always 10%. We would look something like this. We can handle those 20 pips. Like we can risk that. Let's come down to a smaller time frame and see if I can't explain this a little better when it comes to internal structure. I'm gonna delete all this stuff just to clear up the screen. Okay. So this is the bottom. This is the bottom. Okay. So what we're thinking is if we're going to have a break of internal structure, we're going to need it to break this. Okay. Let it break that. Then let it push up. And then that was going to be our play right there. Right. We're going to fib that top to bottom. Wherever that candle lands, I'm not sure where it is. We're just drawing this up, make a believe right now. And then our stop loss is going to be like there. So it's going to be a small stop loss. It's going to be sketchy where we can take the majority of the position and we leave a runner just in case the rare, the currents, this thing melts all the way down. But this is probably not going to be a trade that we're going to end up holding forever because more than likely what's probably going to happen is it's going to come down here. It's going to clear out this liquidity. It might clear out this liquidity, stop right there, and then pop back off and make another high. We don't know yet. We can't look that far in the future. The only thing we can do is what I just said. Wait for an internal break of structure, measure that break with the fib on the retracement, and then take it south. Then we can have a smaller stop loss and we're good to go. We're going to move on to the dirty 30 because probably very similar to the NASDAQ. I'm pretty sure it's setting all-time new highs, which it is. There's a video that I posted for a trade we took last Friday where we knew that this was the cheese. This is the liquidity that was going to take out, and it did that. So we can go ahead and delete this. Our next pool of liquidity is going to be this double bottom here. We also have this structure area here that it popped off. And this is what the market likes to do. If this is sell candles here, these people here were playing sells off of this fib. Okay. They see a top to bottom. They say, oh, this is just retracing. The market wicked above the 886, closed below, and started printing sell candles. The market is trapping people in this area. It's a fake out. They're making people get into sells thinking that, okay, this is just a retracement. This is going to continue on the bear move. Then what happened? It popped off. Okay. So once it pops off and it breaks this consolidation area, it's going to give these people who sold here the opportunity to get out of their trades, right? This is what they call a break and a retest. The reason why it's retesting is because whoever put these sales in, that's a lot of money. That's not guys playing micros and minis, whatever, right? That's a lot of money. A lot of banks had to have some sort of money to push it down that much. So if they're like, okay, well, I'm in drawdown, they're going to push the market back down so they can get out of these positions, and then the market has the freedom to go on up. All right. So knowing that, we're going to try to find where the market is going to turn around because that same thinking is this might be some sellers in here. Okay. So I know a lot of people play what's called a kissing. I call it a kissing candle. Some people call it a trap candle. Um, that's not the best example of one, but that is an example of one. You also do have a small fair value gap in there when it comes to the top of this candle and the bottom of that candle. So there's a possibility that the market might just do one of these. Somewhere up here, it's going to stop. It's going to turn around. It says, sorry, guys, I don't realize I wasn't muted. No worries. Um, come back down and then pop off. But let's see if we can line up some sort of fibs to give us an indication of where this might turn around. That's the whole game, right? The fibs. Okay, so from bottom, here's the first push. This is the first leg of the Elliott. Okay, first push, 61.8 already got smashed. That's a very small retracement. And normally, if you watch my fib video, we would continue to drag the top of this fib up until we had a 50%. So let's just do that now. We're going to come back to this fib, right? But I'm just going to show you what I would normally do is draw that up to the top, and it does not hit 50. And so really, we'd still be drawing this fib way, way up. But that's not what we're doing now because we're looking for TPs. We're looking for turnarounds. So there's the first fib. TP got hit. Where's our second fib? There to there. TP got smashed. Okay. And then we don't have a third fib yet because this is still climbing. The third fib would be from this bottom then to wherever the top is. So the buy fibs, what can you say? It's a bull market. It's taking off. When it moves this aggressively, you can't really expect a large retracement. And part of my strategy is I don't take a trade until liquidity has been taken. So for me, this is liquidity, this area right there. I'm not going to take a trade until that gets broken. All right. So then I'm playing off the next structure. It might hold this, but that looks to me like that's too close. The bottom of that wick is super close to that. So I'm going to be playing off of this area. And I know it's a long ways away, So the only thing we can do right now is we're going to mark this off, and that's the order block. This area was the order block that led to this push and this rocket off to set new highs. So later on in the week, we're hoping that the price is going to come back down to this. We'll leave it here for the rest of the week. What we're really waiting for is the same thing we're waiting for on NAS. We're going to wait for a break of structure, which would be this area, okay, showing that the market has reached the top and that sellers are stepping in. We can measure a pullback, and then we could do the Elliott wave thing. I did not mean to draw that low. Let me escape. Let me adjust this a little bit. So Elliott waves and 3-leg pushes. We could say like this. All right. The first leg push down, second leg push, third leg push. When we're looking to catch a reversal, we'll measure the top to bottom like that. We can enter at this area here. It's the exact same thing we're going to do on NOS. We're going to enter there. We're going to put a stop loss sort of tight. I'm sorry, my mouse is jumping around. I don't know why it's doing this. We're going to put a stop loss sort of tight, and then we could target these extensions for that first move. Then we could look for another reentry here and catch the second and third leg down. So that's it. We're going to wait for this first bear candle to push, or I don't want to say candle, but that first push, and we're waiting. We'll want it to break this area. So we're going to mark this off right here. This is where we need it to break. That little area. Okay. So that's the game plan. We sit in our hands. As we can see, we're oversold. We're now divergent. But this is only on the 5-minute time frame. So, we got to take that into consideration. Oversold. We are divergent. I'm not playing this now for a couple of reasons, guys. A, we're in Asian session. The market hasn't opened. It's Sunday. We don't know what's going on. So we don't want to get too aggressive here. Let's let the Asian session play out. Let's let the London session play out and see what's going on. We could wake up tomorrow and this had already broken this low and then starting to retrace up. We'll have to see, because then when we wake up tomorrow, if that's the case, then we're looking to take shorts. Okay, my headset is starting to go dead. But anyways, so that's the play on NAS and on US 30. It's the exact same thing. Okay, let's go to gold real quick. Okay, gold hopefully is going to give us some structure and we can play. Yes, it will. Okay, here we go. Much, much, much better. Okay, so the way I'm going to start this, I'm going to start this on the 4-hour, and we're going to look for liquidity, and we're going to try to figure out where the market needs to go. Okay, so right off the bat, I see this. Okay, double top. That is a target, 100%. Eventually, this is going to come down here, and that's going to get taken. But we're just in the smaller, we're on a little bit bigger of a time frame right now, just to kind of get an overview of what's going on. We can also look for these sort of Elliott waves and Fibonacci's. Okay, so if we have low, high, low, high, low, lower, low, that is, that's obviously an FU candle to break anyone who was in that area. Double top, push off. Okay. So where are our other zones at? How are we going to draw fibs? It's basically a bull market. I'm not really going to count this fib because that is market manipulation. So what I'm going to do then is going to go from here. Let's draw this up top. Okay. We're not in the 78.6 yet. So therefore, we still have some room to come down. And if you look at this gigantic candle right here, I mean, if that's not a fair value gap, I don't know what is, right? So the market is going to want to come down and take most of this candle and print some other candles over here to get rid of this. And there's sellers right there, right? There's people who have sells that are in drawdown. So I see there are more than enough reasons for this to push down and get into here before we start to come up. And let's see if we can't come up with other couple of confluences for there. Let's draw this trend line. I know a lot of you guys are trend line guys. So we're almost at the top of that trend line. Let's draw this fib from there to there. There to there. So let's do this. This looks like a pretty decent play. Let's wait for this market. We're not oversold. We're on the 4-hour, so we have some room to come up. Let's see if we can get this market to come up and give us a 7888.6. Gold likes 786. 2044, 2045, not quite a quarter point. 250 is the quarter point. So let's draw a horizontal line on the 250 right there. That's close enough. Okay. That's right on the, can't make this up, right on the 88.6. Okay, guys. So we know that our sell zone is going to be in the 78.6, 88.6 area. We'll just go ahead and mark that sell zone. All right. We're not oversold yet. We're on the 4-hour. So let's look at where liquidity lies. On a smaller time frame, we're going to go down to the 30. I jump back and forth between these time zones, these time frames, just to try to get a feel of where things are at. Again, I know you guys are trendline guys, so I'm going to try to go a little heavier on the trend lines today than normal. What we're looking for there. So it hasn't broke. We have a low, we have the wicks, we have the candles. Miss that one, hit this one, hit this one. That's a pretty good trend line. We can maybe lower it just a tad. All right. So the idea is that this is now rejecting off of this trend line and it's just going to give us a push. I'm not super concerned with this top trend line. Like it doesn't have to hit it perfectly as long as it gets in that area. If it gets in this area, it's also in our sell zone. So there's two confluences and it's not oversold yet. So hopefully once it gets up there, it will be oversold. And then perhaps, again, this is why we're doing this now so that in the morning we know what we're looking for. Perhaps it's going to give us a lower RSI, in which case it would then give us diversion. Okay. So let me get rid of this arrow, keep it clean. So what are we looking for? We're looking for this to push up, get into our sell zone, start to show some resistance for this trend line, and at that time be divergent. If those things happen by tomorrow when we wake up, we have a very real chance of taking this gold short tomorrow to come down and get back into our buy zone that we had showed earlier. So if that's our sells, if that's our plan A, where's our buys? Okay, well, where's liquidity? It's the first thing we need to ask ourselves. We have some wicks here. We have some wicks here. Again, I don't like taking trades unless liquidity gets broken. This is all kind of choppy. It's not like a clean, um, at least on this time frame, it's not a clean consolidation area. It's just pushing. What I would do in this situation, and it's kind of sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. You see these two wicks here. I would wait for this to get broke and try to hold this area before I took a buy. I don't necessarily see that happening because it's not a true it just doesn't look right, Just doesn't look right. But if we do catch this sell and we do break this low, we'll then be in our buy area. And it just so happens, and I just noticed happens to me all the time. Look where the TP is. The 27 extension is right at the 88.6. So these, yeah, if you trade with me, you guys know that these will start to overlap each other. These TPs and these fibs start to overlap. So it might be a little confusing now, but if you fib this from top to bottom, this fib needs to hit TP, which is right there at the 88.6, right into our buy zone. So it's starting to make sense, right? We're painting a picture of what we're looking for tomorrow morning to get us into sells, and hopefully that plays out. We'll see tomorrow. We'll have another call and we'll go from there. But this is what I like to do on Sundays is realize where the market is, realize where I want it to be, and let's catch those trades. If this pushes up, it might break this trend line. I know a lot of you guys are trend line traders. Like, boom, there's a trend line entry trade. So it's giving us confluences. It's not oversold yet, but again, it will be hopefully by tomorrow morning. If it just sells from here, there's nothing we could do. It wicked up and it did close below the 61.8, so it could sell from here. In which case we missed our trade. But it's a Monday. We had the rest of the week. If we do miss our trade and it does pop off from here, guess what's below? Our buy areas. We immediately go into buys. So either two things. It's going to hit our sell area and we sell, or we wait and we miss the trade, in which case it goes directly into our buy zone and then we buy. So worst case scenario, we're finding a trade Monday or Tuesday. And I think that's the best for gold right now. Does anybody have any questions about that? NASDAQ and US 30, we kind of got to wait. Gold, at least we have some structure. We have some trend lines. We have some oversold. We have some fibs. We have everything starting to line up for us to take a trade. And it kind of makes sense too. Like, let's go out to this we're already on the 2 hour. I'm just going to delete a few of these things. Let's just delete this and delete this. If we look, this was the internal break of structure. Like you could have done the trend line thing and said it broke structure right there. Or, you know, it's kind of breaking structure right here if you look at it. Okay. Pop, 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 high, low, low, lower, low. You know, that one negates that one. But really, when it breaks this area, for me, that's a sharp downward push. That's when you know that structure has been broken. Okay. So not only did it break the trend line that was sitting here, and again, you could draw the trend line like this or whatever. It broke internal structure, pushing down, consolidated, pushing down. So I'm going to consider this the first leg. Well, these are definitely legs. So I mean, we could look at this a couple different ways on the Elliott wave. You could say that this is the first wave, the leg, excuse me. Retraced up. You know, this is it's sloppy, it's real sloppy. Second leg, and then we're on the third leg, which I don't particularly like that explanation. Let's delete some of this stuff. Let's try to change time frame, see if we can clear this up. So so then this makes it a little easier. One leg, two, and then three. Okay. One, two, three. And unfortunately, it's giving us a fourth leg, which is kind of rare. But what I like to do too is on the second leg, I will fib that top to bottom. Okay. And where's the TP lies on that? Well, if you'll see that second leg, the TP almost lines up perfectly there. So, I mean, it has had a pretty good extension. But I'm still looking for this TP, this buy zone to get hit. So we're just kind of like drawing our sell fibs to get it to line up with our buy fibs. And then that'll give us more confluences. So we'll put buy zone there. Let me delete a lot of this. I'm sure people's brains are getting hurt from all my fibs and lines. Does anybody have any questions? I am looking up there at the chat. If you guys have anything, please let me know. Okay. Let's see. Okay, clear that up. So we had that sell fib. And you know what? We could even modify this fib just a little bit. We can even put it there to there. And then the 27. And if you look, that 27, okay, the extension, the 27, hits that last sell candle that hasn't been touched yet. Okay. Either way, if we start taking entries in here or we take entries in this 27, our stop loss is still the same. Okay. So it doesn't really matter. It's going to matter a little bit on the risk to reward side because every pip matters, but really this is still our stop loss. Okay. And since I had that 61.8 right there, I might just put a few pips lower than I normally do. But no matter where we take that entry here, it's the same stop loss. So I'm going to reset this chart. Okay. And that's what we're looking for. Touch. We're looking for one more touch on this trend line to give us a push down. So our plan A is a push up just to get us down to here. And then we can buy. We're hoping that it holds this area. Again, we can mark off this area here for later on in the week. That's the order block that led to this gigantic push. Therefore, this big candle needs to get taken out. And to be honest with you, majority of it has already been taken out. If you look at the bottom here, right there. So most of that candle has been taken out. We got a little bit more left to go. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any, I mean, does anybody think I'm crazy and like we should go the opposite direction? This thing is just gonna pop off? Okay, I don't see anything in the chat, so hopefully I'm not off my rocker tonight. uh, okay. Anybody have any other pairs they want to look at while we're here? GJs, UCADs, anything? UJs? As you guys know, I mean, I used to trade I used to kill UCAD back in the day. I just got away from it because I all my attention goes to these three pairs. Um, we could take a look at GJ. I thought GJ was going to sell off. I thought I had it marked off for a sell. Yeah, I had it marked for a sell. We had this consolidation. I was playing that retracement, and as you can see, I was in some. I'm not even sure if I took it, to be honest with you, but you're a little bit of profit, and then of course it smashed through there. Um, it was actually, now that I look at it, hold up, this is a double top. We're on the 4 hour. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's look at this here. We might have a trade here. Delete all this. There's a liquidity that got taken. So I was playing the zone for right above this liquidity, which is right here, and it did have a reaction. I mean, you can see that if I was playing this consolidation zone, it had a reaction. It just that wasn't it. It wasn't done grabbing liquidity. We are at a fat double top. And for some reason, my RSI has gone bye-bye. Where is the RSI? Huh. Well, oh, it's in replay. Why is it in replay? Must have been back testing or something. Let's see if I can get this RSI back on here. Indicators. Of course, it's doing this while I'm recording. No, I don't want that. Escape that. Hit that. Sorry, guys. Fumbling around here as I'm making a video. Okay. So that's the 4 hour. Let's just come out to the 12 real quick. Dude, that's a super clean double top. It's not quite a triple top. That's a super clean double top with a wick that wick getting closed back below. Dude, this GJ is looking pretty solid. Oversold on the RSI. Oh, let's go back to that real quick. 12 hour oversold on the RSI. Three touch. 1, 2, 3 touch. My favorite. And 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. The second one's there. The third one's there on that candle. Yeah, dude, this is I might be calling out a GJ trade. Give me 1 second. Let's look this over. Let's look this over. So we did not have internal break of structure. That's a bummer. It did not hold it, but it is setting a new lower high. So here's the play, guys. We might be having a GJ trade first thing tomorrow morning. If this pushes down and breaks this low and breaks this area, that is then technically a break of structure. Let's wait for it to come back up. You see there's a gigantic candle here, and this candle only took out half of it. Let's see if we can't get some sort of retest on this area, and then it'll give us confirmation. If you want it to be super risky, let's look. What's this fib say? Is it the 61.8? Let me see. 61.8. Shit, dude, you can take a sell right now. We're a little bit late. We're 2 hours too late from the party. I'm not suggesting you rush this trade. Your stop loss would be up here. You're in here, and unfortunately, your stop loss is way up here. So yeah, I think the best case scenario is maybe wait for confirmation, because if you look at this on a 12 hour, if we take this trade, this is not a scalp. If we take this trade, we're going to be holding this bad boy for a hot minute. So let's center the chart. Yeah, dude. So if we're taking this trade, look at this. Look at where our target is. Okay. I mean, you're going to take partials at each one of these zones. Actually, you would take a partial probably like at the top of that zone, just because that's a huge consolidation area. It could hit that consolidation area and then turn around and flip on you. Okay. It's the same thing here. It could hit this order block and turn around and flip. But really, look at this bad boy. This is the main order block. If we get in a sell right here, our main goal is down here. I mean, some people would look at this and take that trade right now. Um, you wouldn't be wrong. Let me tell you that much. You're oversold on all the time frames. Come down to the 30-minute. Let's just look one more time. It did retrace. It has rejected the 61.8. Dude, look at this. Divergent. It's higher here. It's lower here. Gave us divergent. Let's just see if we can't build a fib or two to make sure that that's the true TP. This is probably a trade right here. Okay, let's draw this fib. Really, it's this one. This right there is the real fib. Look at that. right on the 27. Okay, guys, the reason why I chose this is because this is the order block. That's the consolidation that led to this nasty candle right here. Okay, there's a bunch of orders got put in the market that led to this huge buy off, huge buy, not off, but buy, right? And then it retraced right there. So that move, top to bottom, gave us a TP. These people who put that money in want to hit their TP, and there it is. And what did it do? Turning around. So, man, I'm hesitant to call this a trade, but you know, I let's do this. Let's enter a half position. Let's just take a bullet. Let's order. Let's just put in a little bit, and if it retraces on us, we can fire the rest of the position at a better entry. Again, I'm a fan of doing this. It gets rid of the FOMO. It gets rid of the shit I should have entered. Throw a little bit on it. Make sure you don't over leverage. Throw less than you normally would because your stop loss is higher than it normally would be. Your stop loss is now 100 pips, which is a pretty big stop loss. I'm going to come back out to the 2 hour just to see where the trend line is. But I think we're in a good position for, dude, look at this trend line. I can just see it right now. Bottom trend line. Look at how close that is to breaking. So I know a lot of the trend line people would be taking the trade right there when it broke, and your stop loss would be even more, right? Fuck it, I'm taking this trade. All right, as soon as we end this call, uh, I'm gonna enter this trade. I gotta bring up my MetaTrader and blah blah blah. And yeah, dude, I'm gonna enter this trade. So there's our call out for Sunday night. GJ, small position. Let's get rid of the FOMO, and then we might hit a banger, and we have more ammunition to enter if it goes against us. All right. And we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it seems like everything's lining up. I've got 6 more minutes left in this call before it ends. That is such a hell of a bullish push that it is, it is sketchy to ride or die against that. It's sketchy to go against it. But if we look at the daily, I mean, that's a clean double top. And if we actually kind of zoom out, you see we had a push in a retracement and then a push and then retracement. It kind of looks like it's dying out of steam, right? And look in the daily or divergent, oversold, lower as the price is getting higher, even lower. That's a third touch. I say this on the smaller time frames, the third touch, and I would like to see this line right here actually touch the 70, but it's so close that we gotta take it. We gotta take it. All right, guys, that's it for Sunday night. That's our market outlook. We did NAS, we did US 30. We got to sit in our hands and wait for this thing to break internal structure and give us some reasons to want to short that thing. I don't think we're going to short it all the way down to the ground. We'll have to figure that out later on the week. Gold, plan A, short. Once it gives us a push up, double test that trend line in the 78.6, 88.6 area that we talked about, and popping a GJ trade right now as we speak. As soon as I get off here, I'm taking a half entry. All right, gentlemen. It's been great. I'll be doing these every night before market, and I'm gonna try to do another one in the market open. So we'll live trade in the morning tomorrow, 8:20-ish Eastern time. I want to do a live trade, and then maybe one of you guys can figure out how I can do YouTube live and share my screen. I haven't figured that out yet. I want to be able to go live on YouTube, and so people can see my chart. And right now, they can only see me. So I'm figuring this game out. All right, y'all have a good night. Please drop any questions in the Discord, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. All right, peace.